Streaming live from the beautiful city of Hollywood, Florida, USA. This is SoFloRadio.com. ZNation. ZNation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. ZNation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Dear friends, this is an invitation out of pure love. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for being with us. This is Zayna De Gaia, and this is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com. We're broadcasting live. We're here in Hollywood, Florida. ZNation, we created this show so that we can highlight, shed light on, expand this new reality of a world that works, a world where people love each other, care about each other, serve one another, and serve the planet. A world where love is the acting force, the energy field that organizes and recreates and transforms the world. Where people make a difference with each other, and where consciousness is queen. Where everything we do is to awaken and raise the consciousness of our individual field and the collective field on the planet and in the universe. It's our way of saying, you know what, everything we do makes a difference. And I make a difference. Everything I say, everything I choose to think, everything I choose to do throughout the day, throughout this precious life. Thousands of days we have on this planet. They are limited, and they are many. And there's so much for us to do and explore and be. And, the choices that we choose to make every single day, flossing or not flossing, having a smoothie or having a coffee. Not that any are right or wrong, but it just creates everything. The thoughts that we choose to entertain. So today, I woke up this morning and found out that our scheduled guest couldn't make it. And we've chosen to reschedule. So if you're tuning in for Paloma Devi, I will tell you that her energy and her heart is with me, and as it is with you. And she will be back on ZNation at another time. So today we've chosen to have a Shakti, a Shakti kind of show. And Shakti is the divine dance of the sacred feminine. It's constantly moving and flowing. It has grace and beauty. It's the master manifester of things. It's the master creator. So we have a show about flow, about dance. And I want to share about my weekend. I had my first teacher training weekend for Shakti dance. I loved it so much. I'm so in love. It's so great to have, it's like being in love, like the beginning of a relationship where you're so happy and so in it. It's so fresh. So Shakti dance, for those of you who haven't heard, is a really unique practice. I tried it for the first time just maybe a month ago, and I really, really fell in love with it. What I fell in love with was that this is like everything for me that is in alignment with what I really care about. So Shakti dance is a combination of yoga. It is influenced by Kundalini yoga, specifically as taught by Yogi Bhajan, but it's not under the umbrella of, though Yogi Bhajan approved it. So it takes the mantras and a lot of the kriyas, a lot of the practices from Kundalini yoga, Now, it's also based, as is Kundalini, on the 8-path limb of Patanjali. So you do learn, yoga. Now, it's also combined with dance. And it's combined specifically with Shakti dance. So it's the dance that awakens the Shakti energy. And Shakti energy is Kundalini energy. It's that which creates all. And I'm just so excited to dive into this because it's so feminine and it's so sensual. Now, it also mixes in, Tantra yoga. It mixes in, the basis of being feminine and the sacredness of being feminine. So there's a lot of sensuality in the practice. Shakti dance is, if you know about Kundalini Yoga consists of Kriyas. And Kriya is a set of sometimes movements or mantras or combined with breathing exercises, and they're given in a specific way to produce a specific result. It's really cool. If you go to the KRI website, KRI.org, it's the official Kundalini Yoga website. There is a library of Kriyas, thousands of them that you have access to that were left by Yogi Bhajan. So Shakti dance itself is a Kriya. It has 8 parts, and it's done as designed as a Kriya with an intention. So the 8 parts are, so first you start with the opening, and the opening is so lovely. It's the feminine version of Om Namo Gurudev Namo.
Is that the one where it goes like this and you do that dance?
Well, the arm movement, that's called celestial communication, and I'm learning that celestial, I've always done it, but I didn't know what it was. You can create your own. There's so many of them, and they go with the different mantras. So it's actually the celestial communication is part of its number 7, but we'll get to that in a second. So the opening actually is the Om Namo Gurudev Namo, and it does have celestial communication with it. And instead of, it's very interesting because I love Kundalini Yoga, and Kundalini Yoga, all the classes begin with that chant, and it's done like this. Om Namo Gurudev. It's just, it's masculine. And in Shakti dance, it goes like this. Om Namo Gurudev, Namo Gurudev, Namo Gurudeva. And it's accompanied with arm movements.
I like that one.
Yes, it's more flowy. It's Shakti. So we open with that. And then the second thing are the Shakti stretches. So it's the yoga part of the practice. It's the stretching part. And the stretches are so yummy. They're Shakti stretches, so they awaken the Shakti. They're feminine, they're sensual, and they feel so good. My body was really feeling achy this weekend. I slept wrong or something, but my entire right side was like, I just needed a chiropractic adjustment so bad. But the Shakti stretches, oh my God, by Sunday, I was feeling incredible. And they're flowy and they just feel really magical. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is the standing exercises. And that's the actual dance. And it's performed in a circle. It feels like a spiritual Zumba to me, in a circle. Very little is said by the instructor. So you're just, they guide the movements, movement to movement, and they're all dance movements that make you feel incredibly Shakti, incredibly feminine, incredibly beautiful, incredibly flowy. So from the standing, we transition to the free flow. And the free flow is when we go into bliss land. That's when you just completely let go. I've done it now 3 times and I don't remember much of the free flow. If you allow yourself to just surrender and let go to the moment, there is this beautiful space that just takes over and you can just be in it. And then when free flow is done, right after free flow, we come down to the ground and we do relaxation or shavasana. Then we come up from shavasana once you've rested, and we come up and we do celestial communication. So it could be, a number of different mantras combined with the celestial communication of the arm and the hand movements, combined with the breathing and the mantra. And then we do a meditation. And the final part of Shakti dance is the closing. We close by chanting Satnam, as you would a Kundalini class. So those are the 8 parts. And it really got me present to that Shakti energy. There was a part in the class this weekend where Dharma, the instructor, asked us to get into groups and create. You would love this, Gaia. We had to write a poem, and we had to put it to like a choreography, and we had to perform it as a group.
Oh my God, it's like a dance class.
It was. But if you walked into that room, you would have seen a bunch of beautiful Shakti goddesses, and we're all very strong women. So at first the energy was kind of thick because, she wants this and she wants this. But women are so amazing. When we're in that Shakti flow, we can actually we can feel our strength, and we can pull back, and we can listen to each other, and we can give each other space. And there was this beautiful flow, and there was so much excitement in the room. The excitement of Shakti creating in her fierceness was so palpable in the room, because that's what Shakti is. She creates, and she weaves things, and she puts things together, and she transforms things, and she dances around things, and she dances with things. And so we all got to perform our the theme was what is Shakti? So we wrote a poem about Shakti, and then we performed it in a very Shakti way. But it got me present to how much I love that flow. I love the flow of the feminine, and I love being with women as we create. There is nothing like it.
Do you remember some of the poem? You don't have to right now. I'm just saying,
Well, what we did, you would love this. We did the chakras.
Oh, yay.
And so we did one line for each chakra. And then we did Shakti dance. And then we did a dance, each of us, for each of the chakras. And we connected each of the chakras to Shakti, obviously. And then in between, we would say Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to teaching this. I'm going to be teaching soon. I don't know when, but stay tuned, because I can't wait to share this with my friends and my family. I actually had the opportunity to share it with my mom.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And my mom, I want to share yoga and breathing and meditation with her, and she often tells me no. And then this time she was open to it. So I showed her some of the Shakti stretches, and I took a video of my mom doing it, and she loved it. So here's the poem that we wrote. This was with my group. So it went, Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. I am rooted to Mother Earth, the umbilical cord to the divine. That's the root chakra. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. I am the sacred divine creative force of the universe, the sacral chakra. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. The solar plexus. I am the ultimate manifester, powerful, expansive, and limitless. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. The heart chakra. I am the light in your heart, inspiring your spirit to be one. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. The throat. I speak and live my feminine truth. I flow within you to create the dance of life. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. The third eye. I am the awareness of your feminine vision. Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. The crown. I am light. I am the goddess. I surrender and I am free.
Wow, I really love that.
Shakti.
Like I could just imagine like you guys like singing it and then doing like a dance to it and just like
We were lined up in a straight line and we were doing snake arms. So it looked like, But thank you for asking me to share that. I didn't even think of sharing it, and I could have rapped that too. I am rooted to mother's heart, the umbilical cord to the devil.
oh my god, we need to like come to the studio one day and just like record that, make like a rap and then play it. We should do that.
A divine Shakti flow.
Yes.
So I wanted to share with you, I was sharing with you about the ultimate friendship letter. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to read this letter to you guys. This is a letter that really changed for me how I conduct myself and with the people I love. And when I'm out of whack in relationships, I come back to this letter as a way to recalibrate myself and come back to truth. And and this is where I am right now. I'm in the midst of relationships and the stuff that comes with it, the things that come up for us. So I'm recalibrating myself, and I invite you to do the same. If you are in a situation where you don't have peace, right? Where there is space, there is resentment in relationship, whether it's with yourself or with another, listen to this letter from a space of recalibrating yourself, your soul, to the highest intention. And when we're in the highest intention, the little mundane things that get in the way, the daily shit, okay, it just disappears. So it starts like this. Dear friend, this is an invitation out of pure love. Feel free to revise it or add to it in any way. We will then agree on it for at least this moment. We can do a symbolic ceremony if we wish, or just let things be. I want to also say this. I didn't write this letter. It was written quite a few years ago, but by a friend and mentor of mine. His name is Orrin Harris. He says, love is a vibration, an energy, a state of consciousness. It cannot be given and it cannot be received. My invitation. I will first do my best to unconditionally love and honor and respect myself, and as a result, I will naturally look at you in the same light. Please do not count on me to do so, but rather appreciate when I do. I honor you as a continually evolving soul who is indefinitely worthy. At the deepest level, I do unconditionally love you, even if it doesn't appear that way in any moment. I trust that the law of attraction is always arranging things in perfect order for your greatest good, and therefore, if you are in my reality, then it must also be for my highest good, for I have attracted everything that shows up in my life too. I want you to always do whatever feels best to you in any moment in time. Follow your bliss. Even if it seems to be causing me pain sometimes. I intend to keep in my awareness that this is the best thing for you and for me too. I do not know what feels best to you. I do not know your deepest intentions, and I can't completely understand your flow and where it is leading you. And the same goes for you. Therefore, I will accept it and not challenge it, for that would be futile and constricting, and I honor your freedom. I know that you are not the source of my good. Source is. So when you are delivering goodies to me, I will do my best to appreciate them and consider them a bonus. I will do my best to stay clear and in alignment with Source. I know that in any given situation, the best help I can ever offer you and you offer me is to be clear. I appreciate when you're able to be that source of inspiration for me. And when you can't, I will still appreciate wherever you are and continue to count on Source for my good. If I happen to get my feelings hurt because of something I think or know that you did, I will probably check with source first to release, and if I do happen to communicate with you, I will do my best to communicate from a place of taking responsibility for my own feelings. I intend to communicate from a place of, this is how I feel, and not blaming you. I intend to see the higher good in anything that triggers me. So therefore, I will eventually stand in gratitude for having you as a teacher, because I know that anything that triggers me is giving me an opportunity to grow and to love deeper and receive what I'm wanting. We should put a back music to this. I'm just kidding. It would really work. I take full responsibility for any unresolved issues I may have. I will do my best to feel good in spite of anything that seems to be going on with you, and not use anything you do as an excuse to feel bad. I also know that anything that may disappoint or upset me is ultimately a challenge for my own self-worth, of which you are not responsible for, and I am deeply appreciative of anything that gives me the opportunity to love me more. I trust that you are always in the perfect place for you. And when I can and feel like it, I will hold you in the light of truth and see you as well. My dear friend, I want you to have everything that you want, the way that you want it. Please do not sacrifice for me or feel obligated in any way to alter your own desires to please me. We live in a magnificent universe that can deliver us exactly what we want without conflict or taking something from someone else. I intend to do my best to be honest with you and with me about what I want without trying to second guess it. It will interfere without trying to second guess if it will interfere with you. I will appreciate from you the same level of pure, authentic communication. If I do choose to change my mind or alter my own desires, it will be because it feels good to me to do that, or it simply feels good to play out what you want in that moment. I will not bind you to any agreements that we have made, for I know and I trust that you are following your bliss, and it is for my greatest good. I will appreciate clear communication or even renegotiation on our agreements, but I will not even expect that from you. My number one priority is me and feeling good. For when I do, I am sourced, and I always get what I want, and I have the most to give and share with you. See, if I'm not feeling so good, or if my energy is depleted, I will most likely attend to that before anything else. When I am down, I will appreciate, but not count on you for support. I know my support comes from source, and I'm open to how it shows up. If it is you, wonderful. If it's not, wonderful. I cherish all of our lovely memories, and I will also do my best to hit the refresh button every time I see you, for it is my intention to experience you in the present as who you really are, and I would appreciate the same from you. Oh, and by the way, I'm always doing my best. When I love, appreciate, and give you things, I will do my best to do so from a pure space, not trying to get something from you or secretly expecting something in return. If I'm expecting something in return, I intend to be aware of it and either release it, tell you about it, or both. I love having this clear communication with you, free of guilt, sacrifice, obligation, manipulation, expectation, or any other constricting, enslaving energies. We are both free beings, and we honor that in one another. It is because we are creating from this intention that we have such a delicious, expansive, joyous, abundant, and yummy relationship together. Our relationship is eternal, and as much as I love you, I will do my best to stay lovingly detached to your physical form. I look forward to the high probability of creating and experiencing many more beautiful now moments with you. I appreciate, honor, and respect the greatness that is you. And I enjoy that anything is possible for both of us, and I'm enjoying this co-creative expansion with you. Please know, this is not a contract, an agreement, or a promise. Contracts discourage growth because they take you out of the present and into an imaginary future. Furthermore, we can never negotiate enough agreements to eliminate our internal fears. Agreements are set up for disappointment. These are only intentions. For our deepest commitment is to ourselves. I expect nothing of you. I appreciate you for who you are and where you are. This is the co-creation intention I would like to have with you. I do not hold you to these in any way. And despite everything I said, I know we both can only do the best we can. At least we can have a clear intention together that's open to be changed in any moment. My only intention here is to co-create a solid foundation upon which our relationship can grow and expand in. My other intention is to inspire and influence those humans who are seeking a better way and are able to receive this as a new paradigm.
Wow.
What a download.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed to send that to all my friends and just like let them know that I might not be there all the time, but like you said, it's like we connect when we're together, and then when we're not, it's like you do your bliss and you get your stuff. And same for me, when we come back together, there's no awkwardness because you already know what's up.
Yeah. Did any of that make you uncomfortable?
I guess the part where it says the whole not needing, I feel like for a long time, at least in my friendships or relationships, it would get to a place like that. And I'm like, oh my God, how did this happen? And some people, they were straight up with me and let me know. And I was able to be like, okay, you know what? It is something I'm doing. I'm being needy. I'm being this, that, and the third. I'm going to back off. And then some people just disappear, But I learned to not get mad at it because I'm me and I'm still growing and I'm not perfect. So part of friendship is like letting that person know, like, hey, you're overstepping the boundary. Back off.
Yeah.
But this is like a really nice way of saying it. Like, listen, like, I don't need you. You don't need me. And like, that's our intention. But I don't know. It's nice.
I feel like it's got so many layers because I noticed for myself reading it, there are parts of it that I'm incredibly uncomfortable with. And then there are parts that I'm incredibly comfortable with. And both those for me are a red flag. There's also another level of this. It's like once we get like, I don't need to need you. And I don't need you to need me. There's this, for me, it occurs like a scary space that gets created there.
Yeah.
Because it's unfamiliar and I don't know what to do with it because that's all I've ever known. So if I don't need you to need me and you don't need me to need you,
then why are we even together?
Because that's the conditioning we've had. And if we're relying on source to source us, then we don't need to be sourced by a relationship. And when that occurs, like real serving can happen. I can really serve you without expecting anything back, and it's the real deal. Sometimes we try to do that, but then we start getting upset because people feel like they're giving too much and they're not getting back, and it's not a real service. It's not a real...
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just kind of fake. We're trying to fake it till we make it, and meanwhile we're just getting pissed off.
It's so funny that you were talking about this because I was reading my Yoga Sutra book from teacher training, and I was reading the section about like karma and like doing things from a place like what you said. It's like you're doing it because you want to, not because you're expecting the end result to be in your favor. You're just doing it because that's what is guiding you to do. I think a lot of the times, like, we say yes to a lot of things, or we agree to a lot of things and don't think about it. It's like, you know, what I mean by think about it is like, for instance, like if you want to do a project, think about the emotions that come up for you. Like what, you know, like, are you going to be doing it from a place that it's something that it gives your heart the desire to really want to do it? And a lot of times we say yes to a lot of things, but our heart is not in it. And that's where all the messy stuff comes. And then, oh, but you know, I expected this at the end, da, 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 da. And it's like, no, like I asked you, you said yes.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna discuss that after this short break. I'm gonna go a little bit into some of my tips for managing your time and your energy. And Sunset, what you said there is great. You know, it's actually the first thing I tell people. The very, very first thing that I teach them is how to say no. How to say no, you know, and not just to say no. You think things out first. You look at reality first. But before we go into that, I wanted to just share a little bit more about, you know, just from this letter, and what we're coming to is, you know, the actions that we take when we're in a relationship and just in our life, you know, they come from the context or how life occurs to us. I had an amazing shift this week when I really started looking at why I was doing some things I was doing in my life. And I got present to an occurring that I have around my life, like how my life was showing up for me is that it was not complete. There was things that needed to be fixed, and everything I was doing was to fix my life or to fix me. And there was a part of my personality that creates those things because I like to have something to fix. And if I don't have something to fix, then I'm nobody. There's nothing to do. What's life about? So I had this amazing breakthrough moment, this aha moment where I got like, wow, it was like the water that I've been swimming in, so I couldn't see it, was this occurring of my life that it's incomplete, and I had to fix it. And we can shift our occurring of how our life is occurring to us with language. How we speak about our life creates our life. So I created a new possibility for my life. I created a possibility of being whole and complete. That my life and me, I'm perfect exactly as I am. My life is perfect exactly how it is. But what's been happening is my life looks a certain way and I want it to look another way, so I make up that my life doesn't work. But indeed, my life works. My life is amazing. And, you know, the missing ingredient for me has been really being willing to be comfortable in my own skin and really just be grateful for what I have.
Amen.
Like gratitude had just slipped out, you know, and I was in the muck of expectations and my own expectations, like how things should show up. And since they're not showing up a certain way, then I made it mean that my life is not working. So my new occurring, you guys, is that my life is perfect. It's exactly how it needs to be. I'm perfect and I'm exactly where I need to be. And there's nothing for me to fix. I don't have to take another course. I don't have to take another training. Mind you, I love taking courses and I love taking training, and I will take them forever because I love to learn new things. I don't want to be stuck with what I know. But I am satisfied with who I am right now. And I'm not taking trainings to fix me. I'm taking trainings because I love it. You feel me? And I share this stuff because it's so important to share it, because we often think we're the only ones dealing with things. I've learned from sharing that I'm not, and it makes a difference to other people on the planet when I do. So, take a look for yourself. What's your occurring of your life? And how can you speak about your life in a different way to create something new? And then share it. Share your new possibility. Share what's possible for you. And talk about what you want to create. So after this break, I'm going to share some tips about how to manage your time and manage your energy to be able to be operating your life, enjoying it, having fun from a place of ease, grace, and peace of mind. We'll be back right here on SoFloRadio.com.
Take a deep breath. ZNation will be right back.
Hi, this is Zayna De Gaia, and I'd love to share with you about my good friend Nicole of Legit Fitness in-home training and yoga. She's a certified yoga teacher, and she's an amazing and experienced trainer that can design a program to fit your specific needs and goals. She's so cool. She's super committed to making fitness and health fun and accessible for everyone. Plus, your first week is free as a new client. Here's how you set up your first session. Either call 305-335-5590 or visit www.getlegitfit.com. GETLEGITFIT. Getlegitfit.com. 305-335-5590. Do it now!
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise.
Julie has been teaching kids for over 8 years in after-school programs, summer camps, and local studios.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Now, back to ZNation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
Far and running ago, finding something to know has been buried inside, something easy to hide. Looking deeper, I see that the something is me. I've hidden from myself. All I'm looking for, I reconnect with my past, walk my ancestors' path, find myself in the land that I came from. I reconnect with my truth, make amends with my youth in order to become better able to see that everything has a reason. Even when it seems that we're all alone and there's none around to hear our pleas. Oh, please give us that light on the darkest night, and maybe we can be that light that we're seeking. I fall, but I get up. When I get up, I'll call to the Lord. When I get up, I consider myself so blessed. When I get up, I consider myself so loved, cause the love of the Lord is above all the rest. When I get up, I consider my path, ask all the questions that I gotta ask. Moving so fast on this path that I'm destined to live, and I'm quick with a hug and I'm fast to forgive. I fall, but I get up. When I get up, I call to the Lord. When I get up, I consider myself so blessed. When I get up, I consider myself so loved, cause the love of the Lord is above all the rest. When I get up, I consider my path, ask all the questions that I gotta ask. Moving so fast on this path that I'm destined to live, and I'm quick with a hug and I'm fast to forgive, cause I love this life that I'm living. Oh, I love
This life that I'm living.
Some people ask me why I live the life that I do. Quit being such a fool, you got that brain, go back to school. I turn and tell them that, man, I don't really know. This just the path I'm on, and I got to go. That's all I'm sure of. What happened all before was only the past. I gotta focus now and move forward. There's so much happening, and every day is such a blessing. On this path there's few answers and oh so many questions. So I gotta have faith that there's something round the corner. There's gotta be a place where all this hard work is rewarded. There's gotta be a point where I can rest upon my laurels. Until I get there, I will rest upon my morals, and I'll hold my head up high. I'll look up to the sky and pray that I'll live another day to testify about this truth that I found inside my heart. It's all I know. This path I'm on is just for me, and man, I got to go. Cause I fall, but I get it when I get up, I crawl to the low. When I get up, I consider myself so blessed. When I get up, I consider myself so loved. Cause the love of the Lord is above all the rest. When I get up, I consider my path. Ask all the questions that I gotta ask. Moving so fast on this path that I'm destined to live. And I'm quick with a hug, and I'm fast to forgive. I fall, but I get it when I get up, I crawl to the low. When I get up, I consider myself so blessed. When I get up, I consider myself so loved. Cause the love of the Lord is above all the rest. When I get up, I consider my path. Ask all the questions that I gotta ask. Move so fast on this path that I'm destined to live. And I'm quick with a hug, and I'm fast to forgive. Cause the love
Is like that I'm living. 'Cause I love this life that I'm living.
That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
this life that I'm living. Oh, I love
This life that I'm living. I love this life I'm living. I love this life I'm living. So much nicer than FML. I love this life I'm living. That's the mantra. I love this life I'm living. Listen, this is a quote from Werner Erhard. It is important that you get clear for yourself that your access to impacting life is action. The world does not care what you intend, how committed you are, how you feel, or what you think. And certainly it has no interest in what you want and what you don't want. Take a look at life as it is lived and see for yourself that the world only moves for you when you act. I think that's something people got like after watching the movie The Secret, 800,000 times.
Yeah.
And thinking things are going to happen if I just sit here and I look at my vision board. We got present that things don't happen unless we take actions.
Making a decision is better than making no decision.
Just and then acting on it. So, one of the things we get, that gets in the way of us fulfilling on things is not having the proper structures, not having the proper management of ourselves. Like becoming the CEO of your empire being your life. And we all, as human beings, we've got to manage ourselves. Like we've got to take care of our well-being. We've got to feed ourselves. We have to, put a roof over our heads, and we've got to clothe ourselves, and manage everything there is to do as a human being. Some of us have children. Some of us don't. Some of us have careers. Some of us have other things. Whatever it is, each of us has an empire that we can have. An empire that runs efficiently or not. When it's run efficiently, we can actually enjoy life. When we have the structures in place to manage everything there is to do in life, we can be in life. For example, if I have a lot of stuff going on and I'm sitting with someone and I'm having a conversation, my mind is going to be thinking about all those other things. My phone will ring and I'll see a text message. My attention will go there. For a lot of people on this planet, giving your attention to one thing in front of you is extremely challenging.
Yeah, that's my challenge.
It is, and it's getting worse unless we manage it. Okay, so I wanted to give a few tips on how to manage your time and your energy as a human being. Now, my first suggestion is take on some kind of meditation practice. And here's the thing, guys. I know meditation, if you've never done it, it seems very challenging at the beginning. I'll tell you a secret. It doesn't get much better. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be a quick fix. It's not supposed to be something that happens overnight. If you've come to the path of exploring meditation, it's because you've done it in other lifetimes. You are on the path right now. And meditation looks however it looks like. You're practicing to bring your attention on one thing so that you can enter the field of meditation. Be patient. It may take you an entire lifetime. But what you will see is practicing meditation will improve the quality of your life. And one of the things it will help you do is just that, to be able to be in life, to be in a moment, and be able to be in that moment and not have your mind distract you with so many different thoughts. Now, so that's the first thing I would say. To manage your time and energy, begin by having a meditation practice. And it's very different for everybody, but I suggest carve out time. Start with 5 minutes. Sit with yourself for 5 minutes and just observe your breathing. Sit with yourself for 5 minutes and repeat a mantra like, I love my life. I love you. Om. Whatever works for you. But give your mind something to focus on for 5 minutes and do only that. The second tip for managing your time is, these are obvious ones. This one is obvious, but not everybody does this. So I'm going to be going over very basic things. Use a calendar. Have an existence for yourself, what you say yes to other people and to yourself, and then schedule those things in. Everything you say yes to somebody else, you agree to be somewhere at a certain time, you agree to call somebody at a certain time, you agree to get back to somebody about something at a certain time, anything you give your word to, write it down in your calendar at the time that you promised, and then write it down a time before you promised so that you are alerted to go to work at it, and then you could turn it in on time. It's a very basic thing. I remember when I was in school, I would do this in elementary school. If we had homework that was due Friday, I would write it down on Wednesday and on Friday. So Wednesday night, I remember to do it. And then it would give me also Thursday to complete it. And Friday, I would turn it in. I was really into organization very young.
I did a lot of that when I was in college. Like, okay, this is the paper when it's due. This is when I'm going to start it. This is where I'm going to be at by this time.
Yeah. And, you know, if I am working with anybody and I tell them something and we agree on something and they don't write it down, I'm very wary. I'm nervous. I don't rely on my memory for anything, because what I'm up to in my life is way too big for me to rely on my memory, which I know has failed me. I will forget. I have forgotten. And I can be relied on if I write things down and I put them in existence. Now, there's other tricks you can do, like make sure that, you know, I use my phone and I make sure that it actually makes a sound to signal me a few minutes before. I use little tricks like that to really, really manage that my word is honored and it's kept. So use a calendar. You could use a paper calendar. If that's what you prefer. You could use, you know, your phone or iPad. I prefer electronic, though. I have to admit, when I started this whole world of calendaring, even though I like electronics, I used paper for a long time. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed writing things down, seeing them physically. And then there came a time where the electronics just worked better for me because I was able to put, you know, reminders and signals and alarms. And that really stepped up really my peace of mind, because I didn't have to constantly check the time. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next tip I started talking on a little bit is write everything down. Okay. So there are things that are going to go into your calendar. Like I said, when you promise you're going to do something, say something, get back to someone on something, it goes in your calendar. But what about if somebody gives you like information you need to remember? What if it's something that won't necessarily go in your calendar now? So besides my calendar, I have another like document where I document everything. Within that document, I have different lists, but like I only keep one space where I capture everything. All my thoughts, all my ideas, everything there is to remember, everything there is to manage. It's like having a big closet with lots of files. And that closet is like everything that goes on in your head. And the files are all the different categories that are important to you to remember, to manage, to do in your life. You can have lists in there of like things I always wanted to do but I haven't done. So when they come to your mind, like, oh, you just saw a show and I really want to go to Thailand and do that Thai massage thing. I really, and then like the thought can come back. You're like, oh, but write it down, capture it and file it. So like, when you're having a conversation with someone, you can be in the moment and everything that's going through your head is managed. And if you have a thought, you capture it onto your wherever you capture things, and then you don't have to keep thinking about it because it is captured in the universe and you're managing it. So as much as you can, this is the next step, get everything out of your head. Get it out of your head. So you have a calendar where you manage where you're going to spend your time. You have a document of some sort that's like your closet with all the different folders of all your thoughts and ideas and projects. Now, another thing to get out of your head is, if you have an idea that you want to work on, a business, a book, a new thing you want to do, get that out of your head too and do mastermind sessions. Schedule time to be creative and get things out of your head. Schedule time to plan and get, more organizational, more strategic. So it's like you have time to sit and plan. And you need to schedule those times because they're not just going to, on my free time, I'll plan. That doesn't happen. You have to plan to plan. You have to plan to have the creative flow time because there are two parts of the brain that are very different. And I know for me, moving from one to the other, it takes a lot of energy. So I schedule creative day. I schedule analytical planning day. Have them be separate. So I actually create time that way because when they're together, it requires time to move from one to the other. Mm-hmm. But when I separate them, it saves me time. So you create more time in your day by focusing on the creative when you do the creative and focusing on the planning and analytical when you do that.
Yeah, that seems to be my problem. Sometimes, like, for instance, I just recently started like kind of like blogging, and it's just my experience of how I go through things. But sometimes like I'm sitting with somebody and they're saying something and I get like this inspiration and then I lose it. I lose them or I lose it. And then I'm like, oh man, I forgot like that thought or whatever. And I'm realizing I'm like, what I have to do when it's creative time and I'm just in it. And a part of creativity is just being in the moment, just be there. And then then you have that time where it's like, all right, I'm going to write it down. Like, what does this mean? And you get more analytical. You get more, yeah.
And you can, in those moments, write it down right away because that inspiration comes and goes. And then what you do when you plan to plan, this is the next step. So you want to plan reviewing your day. So if you're writing everything in your calendar the night before, always review what your next day looks like so it's not a surprise. And then when you start to do that, you can start to confirm things the day before with people and really be like ahead of things, really making sure, and that will make cancellations less likely when people know that you're expecting them. And then you also plan time to review your week. So on Sunday, I set aside half an hour to an hour and I review my week. And then once a month, I review my lists. So looking at like, oh, that idea that I had, that one, I want to work on that now. So I move it to the forefront and I start creating actions for it. So that everything that you think of is not lost, and you don't have to constantly think about these things because you plan when you're going to think about them. You plan when you're going to, rearrange your lists and maybe rearrange your priorities. And when you do that, it just gives you new actions and you start taking the actions towards what it is that you want to focus on. So a few other tips quickly. Don't multitask. And that's for me. I'm discovering it's an addiction. I find it very difficult not to multitask. Now I've gotten better because I'm more aware of myself. I'm not to the point where I'm not multitasking. That's for sure. But I'm multitasking less. Multitasking, what I have found, has me mess things up. For example, I'll get an email in the morning saying my account got overdrawn. Like, what do you mean? I have money in my account. I made the transfer yesterday. No, you didn't. You were multitasking. And, when you do a transfer, there's about like 3 times you have to push confirm, confirm again, and confirm again. I didn't hit it the last time. And I wasn't paying attention because I was doing 6 other things at the same time. And I didn't make sure that transfer went through. Little mistakes like that create like so much chaos when you don't have to have that. And I found that doing less allows me to do more, and it's less stressful, and there's more ease, and there's more grace, and it's more of a dance rather than being in reaction. Oh shit, this happened. I dropped the ball here. Oh damn, I got to call this person because I messed. So those things start to happen less. And then the last thing, and I have more about this on my website, ZNation Radio, so tune in to my blog. There's a lot of tips. But the last one is what we had talked about before, is learning to say no and learning when to say yes. And, that is also a practice and sometimes an addiction. We have an addiction of pleasing people and saying yes. Or for me, I just want to enjoy all of it. I want to do everything. You ask me that. Yes. But I'm not being realistic. So really stopping. And then once you are scheduling yourself, putting things in your calendar, you start becoming clearer what you're using 168 hours for. Do you really have time to take on something new? And if your heart is really calling for you to say yes, then maybe you need to displace something else in your life in order to make this work. Or maybe you have to learn new tools so that you can expand your plate more and take on new things and take on more things, but take them on with grace. Take them on with peace of mind. Take them on with the intention to win and not just survive. So, little tips, very simple things, yeah? But when we take these on, it starts to make a difference in the quality of our life. So we're going to do a little bit of tip number 1 right now. And we're going to close the show with a short meditation. If you're seated, please sit up tall. And if you're standing, you may want to sit or you can stay standing. If you're in a place where you can close your eyes, please close your eyes. I am bountiful. I am blissful. I am beautiful. I am. I am love, infinite, eternal. I am peace, dancing with life. I am gratitude, embracing and appreciating this life, this existence, and this opportunity to experience bliss, love, the divine. I open my heart to the divine. I raise my vibration around me because I know that spirit is attracted to light. All that is light shines to light. And I open my heart and I lift my crown. And I receive the light of spirit. I receive love. Thank you so much for tuning in to ZNation. We love you, we acknowledge you, and we know that you are thebomb.com. See you next week. You are loved and you are beautiful. Namaste. Peace.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.